And we're rolling around.
Happy.
Okay, so welcome to the Pagey train. Today I have with me Luke Newnham. Newnham?
Got it in one.
Got it in one.
It's pretty rare.
So we've got today with us Luke, who is a actor from Western Sydney, actor from New Zealand. Welcome, Luke.
Thank you for having me.
Mate, it's really good to have you on the show. I remember running into you at the Western Sydney Film Hangout.
Yes.
How did you get wind of that?
I don't know. I think I was looking for groups on Facebook and it popped up, and yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you were
I saw that this group actually met in real life, and I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. I might check this out.
Oh, so you found the guys on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then I just asked to join, and I had to answer some questions about film and stuff.
Yeah, I remember. I think I was having a pint with you. And you're like, man, I just wish I could get into a movie. And like 2 minutes before that, I was talking to Rachel. Big shout out to Rachel. We got her on the show next week. And I literally 30 seconds after talking to her, she's like, I need an actor to do this. And then I was talking to you, and you're like, oh man, I just want to get in, sink my teeth into something straight away. I'm like, oh well, come along and meet Rachel. That might work out. So I'm really glad it worked out. So that was for what was the name of that film?
3 Feet Deep.
Okay, just pull the mic a bit closer to you that bit, Ray. So what was the name of that film?
3 Feet Deep.
Okay, and so what was your role in 3 Feet Deep?
The hooded figure.
The hooded figure. Ooh. So what does the hooded figure do? Like, we don't want to give too many spoilers, but what was that film about?
It was about a guy who is like a grave digger for hire.
Okay.
In the criminal underworld sort of thing, and he gets a weird request one day for a hole, and he's a bit unsure about it, so he decides to check it out, and I'm the person that shows up. And
so he was following the client, and you were the bad guy. Were you the bad guy? I'm pretty sure you were the bad guy in that movie.
You can say that.
Just before you came to Western Sydney, though, you were an actor in New Zealand. So tell us a bit.
Yeah.
So tell us about your journey from doing acting in New Zealand and then coming over to Australia.
Well, it all kind of started in high school. It's kind of a funny story. There was this cute girl that I really liked who suggested that I should try modelling. Wasn't too keen on it, but I liked her, so I was like, well, I'll give it a go. And so I went and signed up with the agency and stuff and got the photos taken and that. And the modelling thing didn't happen, but they threw.
You didn't get picked.
No, they threw me straight into extras work though.
Okay.
Which was really cool. And the first job I did was on Power Rangers, actually.
Power Rangers, like the Power Rangers.
Yeah, the Saban TV series.
Yeah, okay.
It's been made in New Zealand for 20 plus years.
Oh, far out. So, like,
really long
you
time.
mean that the Power Rangers was made in New Zealand, and you were an extra in Power Rangers? How many episodes did you do?
I was like a high school kid in the background.
Okay.
In, like, the internet cafe and stuff. I did a fair bit of that in high school.
Oh, yeah?
A few weeks of that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And
I didn't know
a few other little things like that here and there, but
I didn't know the Power Rangers were made in New Zealand.
Yeah, man. That was awesome.
Man, you guys get everything.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
I felt really bad for New Zealand in a way. You remember the movie called The Piano?
Yes.
Now, they won an Academy Award, and that was physically made in New Zealand with New Zealand actors, but the P.O. box for its administration was done in Sydney. So when because it's hard to define. I think, as far as New Zealand goes, it has that smaller brother, problem. I wouldn't call it mentality, but a problem, because that was a movie that was made in New Zealand that Australia goes, oh, that's they put that feather in their cap, but really it was a New Zealand win.
Kind of like the Pavlova and stuff.
Yeah, Far lap. Oh gosh.
Let's not open that can.
But it's Pavlova as well. That's right. It is Pavlova. Yeah. Pavlova's an NZ thing. So you went from Power Rangers, and you were So that's where you got the bug for doing acting.
Pretty much, yeah. That was my first.
Because you wanted to impress a girl, and then you got into it.
Yeah, that kind of fell away. She was interested in someone else. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was like my first experience of being on a set and stuff, and it was just really cool, like seeing how they did everything.
Well, the whole like the production side of things.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where you sort of got the bug for being an actor.
And then I was like, this is really cool. I just want to do this, and I would take days, almost weeks, sometimes off of school, and just go and do that instead.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay. Well, okay. So where did you evolve from doing Power Rangers?
And then
as a teenager.
When I first had a proper go at acting was in a festival back home called the 48-Hour Film Festival.
Okay, what's that involve?
So you get a team together of just, it could be a group of mates or whatever. There's professionals to high school kids, and they just get a team together. You show up to the venue on a Friday night, and they give you a genre that your team has to make a film for. And then you get like little things you have to add into it, like there might be a phrase or a prop or something like that. And then,
so you get pieces to a puzzle sort of thing.
Yeah. So you have to include a certain character name and maybe a line of dialogue and stuff. And then from that Friday night, you've got 2 days to write, shoot, and produce it, and then you hand it in on the Sunday. And then it goes through a selection process and everything, and they pick winners and stuff, and they all get screened somewhere locally. And that was really cool.
What was your film about? What was your role? What was your role in that film?
The first year I did it, we got the superhero genre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you did this? You did this for a couple of years.
I did it for about 4 years.
Yeah, far out. So so from going to Power Rangers and then like, all right, where else can I do acting? And then you sort of got
I kind of dropped off a little bit just because life.
Yeah, well, life does get in the way, man. It comes up a lot. Like, there's two things that come up in this show a lot, and life gets in the way. And there's always a shout out to someone who finds a way to spearhead way through getting things done. And I think that's really testament to the region that we live in and what we're up to at the level that we're up to. So you did this for 4 years, and what was one of the biggest highlights for you? Like, what was the best film?
The whole experience was.
Oh, as a whole?
Yeah, because you got to make a whole film in 2 days. A 7-minute short, and you don't sleep an awful lot.
That's a bit of a hustle.
But the bonus is when it first started, it was sponsored by V, and every team would get a whole case of V.
Oh yeah.
So you just
keep you going for
drinking V all weekend.
Keep you going for 48 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that was really cool. Yeah.
Well, was that the point that you ended up moving to Australia after that, or?
No, that was a few years after that.
Okay.
I moved over here just a little over 2 years ago.
Okay. Well, so you've come over to Australia, and then you're like, all right, I want to get involved in the film scene because you've got that hunger. Because I guess you need a bit of a hunger, right, to do what you guys do. Because there's people like ourselves out there that we're slashers. You got to do this, you got to do that. Acting's not one thing I've done a lot of. I've always been the fill-in extra. Or I usually fill a bogan or a thug role. That's usually what I do.
You're typecast already.
Yeah, totally, absolutely, totally typecast as the henchman.
Yeah, that's not always a bad thing. They're pretty fun.
Yeah, it's always fun. I certainly like writing for henchmen as well, from a writer's perspective. I certainly do.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, from a writer's perspective, I definitely like writing gangster sort of stuff, But did you do any work before we ran into you in Western Sydney? Leading up to Western Sydney Film Makers Hangout. Check it out online, by the way. Nice shout out to Matthew Vella.
Not a lot, actually, to be honest.
Okay. So you've gone dormant for a while, and then the volcano has like, I've got to erupt, I've got to get out there.
The old life thing again,
Yeah.
as it happens. Lots of ups and downs.
So working on a film with RBM, big shout out Rachel. But I've always wanted to work with. I've worked with Rachel in different capacities, like hosting and even on that film, sound design.
Yeah.
So she got to direct parts of the sound design, and I was the Foley artist for that film. But what was your experience working on a film set with Rachel?
That was really good. That was
Yeah,
really good. Yeah, I really like working with her.
When I was looking at the social media side of things, there seemed to be a lot of hands on deck, a lot of people doing a lot of things. You seem to be
There was a
certainly
few
pulling your weight
things.
in that film.
Oh yeah, I dug a couple of graves.
Oh yeah.
But,
Oh well,
that was interesting.
I was supposed to be a digger for her, but I had I think I had a commercial or something on that weekend, and I'm like, I've got to go make bank. Sorry, Rachel.
Oh, so bad.
Oh, you got to go make some money. It's very rare. It's like a solar eclipse, people. But I had to go and do a commercial endeavour, and so she's like, I need a hole dug. I'm like, I can dig a hole for you, mate. I can dig a hole for you. So you got stuck with digging the hole. So that was totally my fault.
That's all right. I wasn't alone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you guys dug the hole. Not to like give too much of the film away, but it's obviously about grave digging because it's 3 feet deep. So how many days on shoot were you?
We did 2 days. 1 day in the forest, and 1 day for all the house scenes, the internal scenes.
Okay. Well, what was your experience like? Was it like a 9 to 5, rock up, clock on, clock off, or?
It was a little bit more relaxed than that, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was it? Who was the other actor in that film? Do you remember the
Craig.
Craig, yes.
James?
Yeah, Craig James. Big shout out, Craig. It was fun. I ended up doing the ADR, so he did all the because it was a narrated film.
Yeah.
So did you get to work with him a little bit?
A little bit, yeah, for the end.
The end. We don't want to give too much.
We'll just
away.
leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. We're going way too deep into it. But I know that you're currently working on another film with because that film was with Jaded Bell Productions, which is Rachel's production company, and you're working on another one at the moment.
We are done.
You've done?
Done.
So
Yeah.
you've wrapped on that?
Rachel's still working on it, but I'm.
Yeah. So you've done the
done my
production
bit,
on
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So what's the name of this film?
They're listening.
They're listening. I know you're probably sworn to secrecy, and I know I don't want to.
Yeah, you
I don't
know
want
her
to.
pretty well. She's very mysterious.
Does she know that you're on this podcast today?
She does, yes.
Okay, so she briefed you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Rachel.
I asked her what I
Rachel.
can talk about.
All right. So if she's briefed you, what can you talk about this film? I do have her on next week, so I'm going to quiz her as well. But
Yeah, she'll probably talk a bit more in depth about it, I would say.
so, are you a main actor in this film?
Yes.
Okay. So, how many actors
It's
are in this
me
movie?
and a girl called Eliza Castillo.
Eliza Costello. Yes, another up and comer.
Yeah, she was really cool to work with. She's really funny.
Yeah, well,
Really funny.
how many situations have you been in before where you've had to work with different actors?
Not a lot, actually.
So how did you find this experience? And then you get to bounce off, another actor, and
That was really good. It was a really tight schedule. Like it was turned around in about 10 days, I think.
that's pretty good.
And we had one rehearsal.
Yeah.
But that was really cool. We did a little bit of like improv and stuff. So I haven't done a lot of that, which was that was a good experience.
Yeah, so let's get onto that. So you're on script or you're off script. Like I can only imagine from someone that's directed and written before. I'm the kind of director that will go, here's the points that we need to go through, but I'm going to give you a bit of creative license. Is that the sort of the experience that you've had? Or is it more like
we kind of went
strict,
we went through it
strict
sort of
script?
like sticking to the script,
Yeah, okay.
and ran through everything, and then we just decided to just decided
go
to
that
have,
direction. But did you nut a few things
see
out
how it
in?
worked.
Did you nut a few things out in like the audition or?
there was no audition.
Oh, not the audition. Sorry, I've misspoke. I mean the rehearsal. The rehearsal. Yeah. Because you were saying you were doing a bit of freehand, a little bit of improv.
So we ran through everything like based on the script and that, and then just at the end, just kind of have a little bit of fun with it.
Okay, and then you got
that was
to
a
lock
really
it
cool
in.
experience. I haven't done a lot of that before, so.
Was it mostly indoors? Because some of the promo I've seen, it's like outdoors. It's an outdoorsy sort of film.
It was mostly outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 10 days outside. Did the weather pay off?
Oh, we only shot for one,
Oh, okay.
but it was 10 days from like writing to shooting.
Oh, that's right. So, well, this is for a festival, yeah? What festival?
I believe it will be going to a festival.
Yeah, okay. Can't talk too much about the festival?
I know that one of them is SF3. I'm not
SF3,
sure what
yeah.
else. I'm not sure what others it will go to, but
Hey, can you pull up some SF3
that is the one that I
stuff
know
also?
of at the moment.
Yeah, because that was... who was your cinematographer for this film?
Ra Sharma.
Rush Sharma.
It's the same guy that did 3 Feet Deep, actually. Yeah.
Pretty professional dude. Got to get you on the show, Ra. Big shout out.
He's awesome. He's really creative, eh?
Yeah. He does certainly have a vision.
It's cool just to watch him work.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
So, what you're saying is that you've shot this whole thing on an iPhone?
Yeah, it was all shot on a phone.
It was iPhone or whatever kind of phone. I don't want to go like, I don't want to be discriminatory against phones in that kind of way. There we go. We've got some SF3 there. So these guys have been running for a while, have they? Nate, can you check that out for us? They're entering it for the SF3 festival by the looks of it. And what's the name of it again, just so we can go over it?
They're listening.
Okay. I think I've got enough as I can get out of you about this film, because knowing Rachel, she's very tight-lipped about these things.
Yeah.
But you can see there, check out the SF3 festival. These guys, they do mobile films. It's really cool what they're doing, I think, because it's about being on shortened resources to get a really good product. I think Ra has done really well at this before.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think these guys
Ra has done well. I think last year he won Best Cinematography.
Yeah, which is a big
I
one
actually
for the
learned
cabinet.
that his looked so good that he had to prove to them it was shot on a phone.
Really?
They didn't believe him.
They thought they're going, no way.
They're like, no, there's no way.
There's no way you shot this on a phone.
No way.
Yeah, but he's using gimbals and he's got some cool gear for the phone. Like there's some fruit around it, but nonetheless, the lens is a phone.
Yeah, I mean, there's like adapters and stuff, but even still, it's on a phone. You know?
Yeah, it's amazing that he had to prove it. Like they're like,
that was a big surprise. Like,
well, they didn't do that for the Vaucluse Beer Festival. I think it was was it Vaucluse Beer Festival? Maybe it was a Sydney beer festival where they had VB showed up and they called it Vaucluse Bitter, and no one questioned it. They've gone, nah, that's not it. And it won.
Really?
Yeah, man. So you got Ra Sharma out there going, no, I shot this on the phone, and they're like, nah, I didn't do that. VB winner. Vaucluse Bitter.
That must be the only award that won for that beer.
Well, let's talk more about why the fire has been lit in you as an actor. Like, from being a kid, being on a Power Ranger set, watching this hustle of making television or this hustle of making film. What's the thing in you that you go, that's why I want to do this? Why do you want to do this?
I don't know. I've just always been a big film buff.
Yeah.
Know? And then just getting to see behind the curtain, was just awesome. I mean, I watch all the special features on DVDs and stuff, and I find it incredible. But then the first time seeing it with your own eyes, I was just like, wow, this is cool. Like I walk into a set that's part of a mall, and it's just a set inside a warehouse, and you're like, whoa, suddenly I'm in a mall. And then you walk out the automatic doors and you're like, I'm in the outside of a mall, but it's
so you get to be someone else. Is that the buzz, or is it like is that part of it?
That's definitely intriguing about it. Yeah, getting to be someone that you're not.
Because from making it to writing and directing a story, I'm like, it's good to see things come to fruition. Like you go, I've made this thing and now it's happening, and it's always in this spectrum of it's not as great as you'd hoped. Yeah, but it's not as bad as you think. It's somewhere in between those 2 points. Yeah, and watching
that's probably how I feel about watching myself.
Yeah, well, we're the worst critics, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
We look at ourselves and go, man, it's horrible. Why am I doing this? Yeah. Question your own existence. I guess that's why I asked the question. Like, what drives you to be on screen and to have those experiences?
Now I think since I left home, that was just a big shift. Like I wanted to do something that scared me, and I got an opportunity to come here for work, and that scared the crap out of me. Moving to another country.
That must be, man.
And so I just said,
man.
fuck it, just do it. And so I sold everything, and then packed a bag, and flew here one way. And that was awesome. And then from there, I've just kind of decided.
Right, what now?
What else can I do that scares me? And,
yeah, all right.
Yeah.
A thrill seeker. I think that's a bit of a I'm certainly a thrill seeker. I'm certainly someone who likes to anything that involves a microphone. I'm definitely on for it. But I think there's also a communal sense to what we do. I just find it when you're on set and everything just clicks and everyone has this moment where you look at each other going, that was freaking awesome. That was just fucking awesome, right? And everyone has this moment of bliss and awesomeness. But then you're taking the edit suite and you go, yeah, it's all right. But then you go to see it on the big screen as well. Yeah. I think doing Made in the West, bringing actors and directors together and getting their work on the big screen. Like you got a screening at Made in the West last year for 3 Feet Deep. Yeah. What was that like? Like being in a cinema with 300 people looking on a 4-story.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Really cool. It was a pretty good welcome to Western Sydney, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so go to the Western Sydney Film Hangout is another point that I would make.
What a great start.
Yeah, but it
that
comes.
That was actually my first night there.
Yeah, so that was the first time that you went there?
First time I went,
yeah. Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
I procrastinated for a whole week about whether I would go or not.
Yeah.
And then I finally pushed myself to go, and
well, it's not that tough
with that gig. So
it's not that tough of a crowd, though. It's a relaxed crowd. Like everyone's.
I think it's just the anxiety talking, So,
yeah, but I think everyone has that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we all have that imposter monster. We all have that
imposter monster. I like that.
Yeah, man. And that imposter monster attacks you. It tells you that you can't do this. You're not good enough. You're not good looking. You're not smart. You don't have this within you, and you start listening to that false voice.
For me, that bleeds back into the whole trying to do shit that scares me. Because I keep telling myself I can't do it, and I'm like, you know what, just fucking do it.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I'll prove you wrong.
Just do it and see if you can. And if you can, wow, that's awesome. I did it.
Yeah.
That's a great feeling when you come out the other side.
Yeah, man. Well, look, I just hope you get more. Like, I hope all you guys get more gigs because you guys work really hard. Like, we all work really hard. It's a lot of work because you got to. I've said this a few times. You got a day job, yeah. You work your day job and then you work in your passion on the weekend.
2 now.
2 day jobs. Yeah, I was like that once.
I'm trying to save to do my own little projects. So.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Watch this space. Have you got a production company yet? Have you started? You haven't got a name?
No.
You want to coin it yet?
I haven't gone that far yet.
Oh, okay. Well, the good. All you got to do, it's like Fight Club, bro. You got to give it a name.
Yeah. That's the hardest part, probably.
It is. Don't end up with a stupid name like Still Searching Productions. Like, watch out for that. An email that you spelt wrong 12 years ago that is now a production company. Don't do that. That's a bad way to do it.
I've seen a lot worse names than Still Searching.
Well, you need the hyphen at the end, and I didn't put the hyphen on the end of the because now I'm stuck with it. Just stuck with it. You're stuck with it forever. But I don't mind it. It serves a really good purpose because everyone that's been a part of Still Searching, and that's what I recommend to you. Start up a production company, start up a production group. Everyone's got one. It's not hard to make one. But the thing that makes it cool is by having a group of people that are doing something that makes them excited. And that excitement comes from post-production to production and then pre-production, production, post-production. The production is the shortest end but the most expensive.
Surprising.
Find a good cinematographer, get your work out there. If you're like, I guess my advice to actors like yourself would be, if you're not getting parts that you want, write the part that you want and go and make the movie. All right. We're in a world now that is so fragmented that requires us to have multiple skills. You need to diversify. And if you're going to, and ultimately you've got to start questioning your own existence too. Why are you doing it? Like, are you doing it? Like, there's the licks side of it. You know, it's thrilling, it's cool, and I'd recommend anyone to get into it just for that reason alone.
Yeah.
But as ultimately, you've got to represent something, right? Whether it's the idea that you're working on, the film that you're working on, the region that you're working in, the region that you're going to. Like, I say, fly the flag for anyone that, whatever you're doing. If you're going to Brisbane to make a movie, fly the flag for Brisbane and do that.
Oh, definitely.
But, you know, at the same time, suspend that paradox and remember, if you're from Western Sydney, don't forget to throw that rope back, man. You know, just remember that there's nothing wrong with your postcode. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know, I just think, for me, being on stage is such a bold move. It's such a bold move. Whether that's a facet of you writing and then acting, or writing and then directing, whatever it is, I say, give it a shot. If it's in you, let it out, man. You're certainly surrounded by friends. They're out there. Well, what's your experience been with getting into the Western Sydney film community?
That's been really good. Everybody is really friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the hangout is a really good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like everyone's.
But why is it cool? Why is it cool?
I don't know. It's just the people are just really nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know. People,
approachable.
They're easy to talk to. Yeah, approachable, easy to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I found a few that just they share a lot of the same interests and things like that. You know, so
yeah, okay.
it's just I just found it really easy to sort of just merge,
just to merge in there.
Yeah.
Actually, can I get you to look something up for us, Nate? Can you check out?
I'm kind of like the token Kiwi.
The token Kiwi.
Right.
Isn't there other Kiwis in our group? Can you check out? What?
I could be wrong.
You could be. You could be.
But
3 feet deep.
any.
Look up 3 feet deep promo. I should have got you onto this earlier. 3 feet deep. Can you get the promo running?
I've already had it run at one point.
Yeah. Can you get it going again for me?
I have it somewhere.
Yeah. The reason I bring it up is it's just it's something that I've done on the run. Right. So Rachel was doing we've done it in the studio actually. So I was doing all the Foley for it. And then she went to the shop to go and get lunch, and I'd cut the promo for her by the time she came back. So I just wanted to pull it up. If you can find it. There it is there, 30 seconds, bro. There you go. 30 seconds, 3 feet deep. Bang. All right. So I totally cut you off at this really cool point about why we're doing what we're doing and working in collaborations. You know, I know we're going really deep here, but I just want to hit it again. You know, like, so there's the thrill of it, but what's your next endeavor? Well, like, where do you so you want to make you're writing a film at the moment?
Yep, I've been writing for the last 6 months. I've been working on it.
Okay, we're talking like a short film here.
A short film, yeah.
Okay, so what duration? Can I press you for a duration? I know we get secrets. We get to secret.
It started at about 5 minutes, and now it's around maybe 9 or 10.
Okay, because like as a film curator, I would say 7 minutes is good. 15 minutes, it has to be like knockout. You need a knockout punch at 15 minutes. But if you're doing 7 minutes, it's a good space, because then people are looking film festivals will go, I can fit that in there, I can slot that in there. 15 minutes, they go, where can I slot that in, because that's 15 minutes. I could do two 7 minutes
really?
Yeah, because I could do 2 7-minute films, you know, in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a 15-minute film. One
of the ones that stood out for me actually from Made in the West was, what was it called? Was it called Cut Off?
Cut off.
It was like a couple of minutes.
Looking for the phone. Yeah.
It was just so short and sweet, but it was like.
All right, Nate. Can you?
Awesome.
We'll come back to that clip, but can you look for Cut Off? So
I thought that was really well done. You know, like
Cut Off short film.
I had to think about it for
really
a
hard
little bit later.
pressed.
I didn't. didn't really click as to what was.
Well, we'll do a
happening
total
at first.
spoiler. I don't want to. I don't want to totally spoil it for everybody. But look, there was this guy that was this woman actually that was looking for a phone, but you don't know that she's looking for a phone.
Yeah.
She's missing a hand. You sure that was last year? Or was that the year before?
I'm sure it was last year.
Because you've only been to.
I've only been.
You've only been to one in Maine and the West.
It screened at the same one as 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that film though, she had her hand missing. She's looking for her hand everywhere.
Yeah.
And then, there's blood all over the bedroom, and then eventually she gets to a point where she finds her phone, and it wasn't her hand missing the entire time. It was just her phone.
Her hand's back.
But you know what that's a reference to?
So well done.
That's actually a reference to Marshall McLuhan. You know Marshall McLuhan?
I don't.
Okay, so Marshall McLuhan's a guy that wrote... and when you get a chance... Oh, there we go. Can you roll a bit of that for us? A bit of cut off?
Is this the one?
I think so. Oh, no, that's not it.
No.
No.
I'm looking, mate.
Get us a picture of Marshall McLuhan. Let's look for that. So Marshall McLuhan was a guy that talked about communication. And he's a guy that would talk about communication tools. So if you look at radio, that's an extension of people, because you can put out a message to a broad audience, and then that tool changed to television, and then television changed, and then also then you've got film as another medium, then you've got music as another medium, a record, an LP or an SP, right? And he would say that medium is the message. Right, so he would go, right, whatever medium that you're talking about, whether it's a newspaper, magazine, record. If you're listening to a record, you expect to hear a song. If you read a magazine, you expect to find a certain type of article. If you're a newspaper, you would expect to find a different kind of article. A novel, you'd expect it to be fiction or non-fiction. So what he was saying is that the medium is the message. And we're now in an era where technology is totally turned on its head. Like, everyone's a self-producer, everyone's carrying around a TV studio in their pocket.
Pretty much.
Facebook is its own newspaper. Like, you have your own newspaper, right? YouTube, you've got your own TV channel. So the medium now is, then the message is so confusing to everybody.
There's just so many different options now.
This is the one. This is what you're looking for.
Yeah. Medium is the message. Marshall McLuhan, man. Marshall McLuhan was a spun out dude. He was a spun out dude, man. I dare say on the psychedelics, this guy. No, he would have been, man. Because he talks about mediums being an extension of humanity. So film is an extension of people, and the phone is an extension of you. Because it makes sense, right? Because the phone.
Well, it is now, especially.
Well, we don't tend to put.
Everybody's got it glued to them.
Yeah, well, we look at Facebook. You put all your best of yourself on Facebook, and certainly Instagram. You're putting the best of yourself. Television is putting the best of the country or the state as the best of itself. They were always worried about the expose or fake. In our era, it's not the expose. It's news. Fake news is the problem. Is that real or is it fake? Right? I think that. That dude is totally spun out because he's really right. He's just one of those things that's really correct. Like, who we are on Facebook is not actually who we are. No. Like, we're in the arts, right? Yeah. And we're doing things that, when you're an actor, you're like, I'm acting in this role. That's not me. I'm just playing this role. And what his argument is, that extension is that's what everyone's doing. Everyone is had an extension of themselves.
Yeah, to an extent. You act a certain way around certain people. You
adapt, right?
Certain company.
Yeah, you totally adapt. Like the way you talk to your folks, the way you talk to your grandparents is totally different.
Exactly.
Or the way you talk to your cousins, or the way you talk to your siblings, or the way you talk to your friends, or the way you talk to colleagues is all different. They're all
Work
different.
is a big one, especially if you
Well,
It's
it's
like a customer service sort of side to it.
yeah. Well, is it? What about the separation
very
there, though? What about the separation there? Like, if now you go for jobs and they're going, all right, can we have a look at your Facebook account to
Well,
see
yeah,
what?
some of them are asking for your passwords now. You know.
Yeah, what are you doing socially, and what is your political position in the world? To go even deeper, like look at things like Cambridge Analytica. Like, wow, now we're getting really deep. We're getting really deep here, really deep here, Nate. Look, you can change perceptions by the medium. And that message, and I think I know to drag it back to our small little region in the world, I think it's really important that our medium, being film and music and composition, and these voices that we're putting out there, is important to our message, and that message is, I guess, do the right thing, man. Don't do the wrong thing. Everyone knows what the right thing is. And perhaps also exploring the unknown. Like, we're in, to get even deeper. Wow, we're getting deep on this, Luke. Getting real deep. To get even deeper, climate change, man. What are we doing about climate change? What are we doing about the energy consumption of, what are we doing about all that? And you might argue and say that, us doing the arts doesn't have an effect on that, but I think it does. I think it's really important. Look at the head on this thing that I've done for you. That's like Eastern European right there.
I'm sorry, Roscoe, but that's abysmal, mate.
That is absolutely abysmal.
That is absolutely absolutely disgusting, mate. Well,
look, just let that.
I'd probably
pass one over the monitor.
Imagine if you got served that. Like, jeez.
I'd ask for the coin back.
Oh, you want one?
Yeah,
you want one? Oh no! All I got is this.
Look at that.
That was going to be mine. Oh no. But yeah, no, we've gotten really deep there. Really, really deep about I suppose, like, medium being the message, like being on an acting platform, being on a directing platform, being on a writing platform. These mediums are the message themselves. Yeah. But look, it's on that note, I think we've certainly. Oh, is that's for me? That's for me? Oh, jeez. Oh, no, I put it in the shot. I've got to get it out of the shot. So I'm going to cut to you on that one. I'm going to cut way to you on that one. Look, I think, where are we at, Nate? Where are we at?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't even know? I don't know. I'm trying to wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah, I'm sitting here at just under 40 minutes.
Oh, great. We've got an episode then. We've got an episode.
So I did find this earlier. So this is happening. This was last month.
St Kilda.
Oh, right. Let's get into
went down
that. Let's get into that. Before we wrap up. So you went down to St Kilda for 3 Feet Deep. Tell us about the St Kilda Film Festival.
That was cool.
What was the highlights, man?
Opening night.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty awesome. That was at like their big classic theatre.
Oh, so you walk in, it's all like majestic and
yeah, like the all traditional theatres and stuff. It was it was really cool. There were some really awesome films as well. And our screening especially was
So you got a good reception from it?
Lots of dark films.
Oh yeah. All right. So on the dark,
we had a really good reception, which is the interesting thing was. At Made in the West, the screening was very quiet. The crowd was really silent. At St Kilda, we actually got a few laughs.
Oh, really?
Like the dark jokes in the film actually hit, which was really interesting. Yeah. But no, it got a really good reception. Yeah.
Yeah, far really out. So you got to walk. Did they have the red carpet? Did you get to walk the red carpet there? Sort of.
Ish. Yeah. They had like the big screen with take your photos and all that
the
stuff,
media wall. You could do the media wall. Yeah. Okay.
We did that and then watched the films and it was cool.
Yeah, great. Because you have to go down to St. You flew down to St.
Yeah, went and hung out after our screening and got to mingle with some people and stuff and met some interesting folks.
Yeah. making connections.
Really cool.
Making connections and networking. But look, once again though, I think we've come to an end. So I'd like to thank you, Luke, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'd like to thank Nate for being our navigator, and I'd also like to thank Still Searching Productions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, please. It'd be really great. The more help we can get, the better. And once again, thank you, Luke, for joining us, and we'll have you on next time.
Sounds good.
All right, that's it, bro. That's it.
Right.
We're done. Woo. Did I totally fuck that at the end, mate?